Across the globe, our identity is being traded for billions of dollars. How is it possible that something so seemingly elusive as our data has so much value? Data is the new gold, and this is the gold rush. But what does that mean for us? What does it mean for our privacy and for our freedom? Wrapped in a veil of marketing, grand narratives, and noble causes, we are presented with a future which may be less rosy than it appears. The next Web is one of the world's leading tech events. One of the speakers is the former CIA and NSA contractor, Edward Snowden. In 2013, he blew the whistle on the large-scale spy activities that the US government conducted on citizens and governments worldwide. His message is clear.
Digital IDs have been being pushed for approval for quite some time now, all under the pretense of making your lives easier or more convenient by having your personal private data such as bank account numbers, social security cards, what porn you watch, to all the things that you frequently buy, all conveniently in one place. All you have to do is give up more of your privacy and your individual freedoms / powers that we're likely to abuse yet again. Making it easier for we, the totally not corrupt government, and our big business buddies, and even hackers to have easier access to your personal and private data so we can control you and your information. Now, if you've been paying attention at all since 2001 after 9/11 happened, you'd have some idea of how much privacy violations and surveillance various parts of the US government have done on its own citizens, from, the intelligence communities to even the CDC. That's right. They were tracking people during lockdowns over the past 3 years when they said that they wouldn't. But before we go ahead and get more into this topic of data privacy issues and what all the mainstream media / governments are not telling you about digital IDs, cue intro. Now, one thing you guys need to understand about our data is that in today's society, it is gold. If companies know everything about you, from your likes to interests and even more, and I mean everything, Jimmy, you might want to delete your porn history real quick. Oh shit, no. Jimmy, did you really try to delete it? It doesn't matter because it's already in their records. So much for it being your private time, right? They can convince you to waste even more money on things that you don't need when they know so much about you, making them more money when they know so much about you.
Spearheading these developments is the digital identity. The digital ID industry is a booming business. According to analysts, its potential revenue is $30 billion in 2024. Which could rise to $50 billion in 2026. It should come as no surprise that big tech corporations like Microsoft, IBM, and MasterCard are heavily represented in the lobby for a global system of digital IDs.
Jedes Mal, wenn eine Website uns auffordert, eine neue digitale Identität zu erstellen oder uns bequem über eine große Plattform anzumelden, haben wir in Wirklichkeit keine Ahnung, was eigentlich mit unseren Daten passiert. Und das muss aufhören. Und aus diesem Grund wird die Kommission demnächst eine sichere europäische digitale Identität vorschlagen. Eine, der wir vertrauen und die Bürgerinnen und Bürger überall in Europa nutzen können, um alles zu tun, vom Steuerzahlen bis zum Fahrradmieten. Eine Technologie, bei der wir selbst kontrollieren können, welche Daten ausgetauscht und wie sie verwendet werden.
Arno Wellens is an author and investigative journalist specializing in finance. For his book, The Euro Gospel, he has immersed himself in the policymaking of an ever-expanding Europe. Wellens keeps a watchful eye on the progress of the European Digital ID.
Welcome to this press conference following the Euro.
Hoe het praktisch eruit ziet, de Digital Identity Wallet, is dat jij straks een appje hebt op je telefoon. En daarin zitten eigenlijk al jouw wachtwoorden en je rijbewijs, bankafschriften en elektronisch patiëntendossier. Dat zit allemaal in één appje. De Europese Commissie heeft gezegd, nou, wij komen met een toolkit in het najaar van 2022. En daar zitten alle elementen in en alle eisen en de middelen voor hoe dat er specifiek uit moet komen te zien. Maar mensen krijgen straks een app op hun telefoon waarmee ze zowel in social media als met een bank, als met mail, als met de overheid kunnen communiceren en hun vaccinatiebewijs kunnen tonen. Dat is hoe het er praktisch uitziet.
A European Digital ID is in the works for every EU citizen. An app will enable us to identify ourselves with our smartphone and choose which personal data we wish to share, both online and offline, with government institutions and private companies throughout the European Union. A so-called digital wallet will enable various attributes to be incorporated into it, such as government records, insurance documents, travel documents, personal data such as social media accounts, bank records, diplomas, credit card records, medical records, and vaccination status. As founder of Privacy First, Bas Filippini keeps track of all digital identity developments.
Kom nog uit de tijd van idee, plicht, nee. En we zitten nu al in de fase waarin we dus hebben over Digital ID, waar al je informatie op staat. En met uitsluitingsmogelijkheden om deel te nemen in het sociaal maatschappelijk verkeer. Nou, een stuk helemaal de foute dingen. Maar het kwam ook omdat ik langere termijn kijk. En ik zag het al aankomen.
We've seen this already before with COVID. There were some countries that happened to, push green passports like China or Israel. If you didn't get a vaccine and it wasn't, on the passport or anything like that, you were barred from going to places such as grocery stores, gyms, bars, restaurants, etc. And you couldn't even leave the country. You literally had your freedom of movement just stripped from you just because you didn't get a vaccine or you didn't do what they wanted you to. You guys have to understand that a lot of times here with digital IDs, they're more than likely going to be used as another way to infringe upon our personal rights and, our privacy, which we've seen before on various occasions with these attempts at power grabs and the tools that implement them. They used centralized databases. Oh, no wonder the WEF, Bill Gates Senpai, and other globalist organizations like them so much and are, advocating for them. But that'll make things so convenient. Nothing bad can happen because of convenience, right? It comes with no risks at all, not one bit. Digital ID is coming to Canada and has been sold under the pretense of making government services easier to access, more efficient, and secure with little analysis of its dark side. We have all heard that before. The government presents digital ID as an entirely risk-free proposition. In doing so, however, it conveniently overlooks how current information flows are automated, reside in silos, and are safer from hacking versus a digital ID world of centralized databases that can be easily cross-referenced for any purpose. Like a lot of new tools in the technological age, what it is must be defined first. While the government assures individuals that their information will remain compartmentalized, recent actions have cast doubt on their commitment to privacy. The federal liberal government has renounced its roots of classical liberalism based on individual liberty and economic freedom. The government's use of extraordinary powers during the COVID-19 pandemic further compounds these concerns. For example, in early 2020, the government authorized the pandemic surveillance of 33 million mobile devices to track the location of Canadian citizens. The government claimed the reason was to study the effectiveness of the pandemic measures during the lockdowns and study compliance. During the Freedom Convoy, thousands of protesters gathered to protest COVID mandates. Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergencies Act that gave the government unprecedented powers to arrest anyone for any reason. The last time these powers were used was during the 1970 FLQ crisis in Quebec, where politicians were kidnapped, bombs were going off, and a real crisis was on hand, not a manufactured one for political purposes that Trudeau later used as a wedge issue during his re-election bid when he failed to win a majority government. The government instructed financial institutions to stop providing financial services to anyone connected to the protests. Whether one donated $10 via GoFundMe or sold a coffee to a protester, bank accounts were frozen. People could not access their accounts, and the oligopolistic big banks never once questioned the legality of the government's directive. Now, think about how much easier it would be to do stuff like that with all your personal private data in one centralized database, especially, with them pushing for CBDCs or central banking digital currencies as well too, their own cryptos. It'd all be digital. There'd be no physical cash, so it's easier to control. Come a little closer real quick. It'll be super easy to do. They won't have to go through a reasonably decent amount of, loops and have to do a considerable amount of work just to freeze your bank accounts anymore, because it'll all be, in one centralized database that they could shut off in a matter of a button switch or two. It literally can just be done in the push of one button. Now, under the guise of convenience, your personal private data is a lot more easily accessible to others, just like it is to you on these digital ID systems, unlike how all of it is currently with all the different sites and everything like that these different, private pieces of information are on. With all your data centralized to one device, it makes it a lot easier to control you too. Think about how if you can control all that data on one device, how easy and likely it would be for a corrupt government regime to, abuse that as well too. If you say something might tarnish their image or this corrupt group's image, even if it's 100% true, they could freeze all of your accounts so you can't go get groceries, pay bills, etc. Now, while it be more convenient, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's always safer. Also, look at those who are pushing for these digital IDs. It's predominantly corrupt globalists whom want a one world government or a one world order and to centralize power. Now, what has our human history taught us about authorities / politicians in office that try to, centralize power? It leads to the best lives for them and shitty lives for everyone else who is not them or their buddies. It's a sign of corruption and greed. It's really no different with how they're trying to roll out these digital ID systems. It's just another tool for these corrupt people in shitty systems to get more power / control. Now, again, you guys got to remember, while these digital IDs might make things a hell of a lot more convenient and everything like that, it's a lot safer to have things the way they are now, ironically enough. You can always just write your passwords down inside a notebook or put it on a flash drive, and put it in a safe. Whereas all this stuff, it's so easily accessible, and if it only has one password, how easy that is to get in. It's not very safe at all. And if it's not very safe, it's not really worth the risk. And you got to remember, in today's society, our data is a gold mine for all these fucking companies to sit there and make, billions of dollars off of us without us even knowing or giving consent to it. But that's enough about what I think. What do you guys think? My adoring tribe members, new viewers, etc. Let me know if you guys think this is another way for a corrupt system full of shitty people to, gain even more power and access to make profits off of us, or if it's actually a genuine way to help make people's lives a hell of a lot easier. Let us know in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on this stuff. If you guys did make it to the end of this video, go and leave the phrase "fuck the system" in the comments section down below to let me know that you made it to the end and that you guys are part of the 100%. As usual, my dudes, please don't forget to, like, follow, and or leave a comment down below to, help us out here and get us farther up in the YouTube algorithm to let more people know about this stuff completely raw and uncensored, 1 million fucking percent real, as you know I say. It really does help out, you feel me? And it helps people to understand it's okay to think independently of these systems we live in and to question them, because that's a part of human nature, you feel me? And the system doesn't like us to do that. So the more we do all that stuff, the more we are likely to, overturn these systems and make better ones. Now, if you guys would like an even more interactive experience with us, come join us live here on the main YouTube or over on Twitch every Wednesday and Friday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Central Time, where we play games such as Pokemon Unite, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, talk about conspiracies such as this, shared some dark humor jokes with each other, and just vibe out and have a good time. Always love having more people in there, because the more the merrier. Also, feel free to check out our Discord tribe, where we do movie/weeb night every other Friday and watch things like anime, cartoons, movies, political discussions, respectfully, of course. Also, share dark humor memes in there as well, too. And just, have a grand old time and have a sense of community. Only real rules are don't be a prick and, be a decent human being. You feel me? Gotta be able to take a joke, though, too, because we bust each other's asses in there. And again, we share dark humor memes. But nonetheless, though, love to have more people in there, Until next time, though, my dudes, please don't forget to live long and prosper. Take care and peace. Keep it 1 million fucking percent real. And as always, fuck the system. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Yee!